Our topic for today is finding the area between two curves and focusing primarily on calculator keystrokes in order to do that. So our instructions here are: find the area of the region enclosed by the curves. The first equation is y is equal to negative x squared plus 4x minus 3. That's the parabola. Y is equal to x plus 1. That's the line. And we're looking for the area between those two curves, bounded on the left by x is equal to 0, bounded on the right by x is equal to 3. So the formula that we're using for these, we're integrating from a to b, left bound to right bound, f of x minus g of x. F of x represents the top curve, g of x represents the bottom curve. So for this particular problem, the linear is the top and the parabola is the bottom. So we want to make sure we correctly identify that because the order of subtraction matters. So accomplishing this on a calculator, I already have my two equations in y1 and y2. The parabola is in y1, the linear is in y2. I'm going to hit graph to confirm I have these guys typed in correctly. The graph on my calculator screen appears to match the graph that's given to me, so I can feel pretty confident about that. Alright, so I'm going to quit out of the calculator screen, the graphing screen rather. I am going to go to math, get my FNINT function. My lower bound is 0, my upper bound is 3. And the advantage of putting those two equations into y1, y2 is it makes it much easier to type it into the home screen here. So the top curve is the linear, which I'll take a peek just to confirm. The linear was in y2. So the shortcut to get that with the newer operating system is alpha f4 y2 minus alpha f4 y1, and we are integrating these guys with respect to x, and hit enter. So that shaded area, or the area bounded by those curves, is equal to 7.5. Now if you have a calculator that has an older operating system that doesn't have that alpha f4 shortcut, what you have to do to get at those y number or those y symbols is you have to go to vars, yvars, function, and then choose which ones you want. If you were to do this by not putting the equations into the y equals screen and just typing them as is right in your home screen, you want to be careful with parentheses. So y1, or the top curve, is the x plus 1, and it's minus the bottom curve. So if you were to type this in your calculator right in your home screen without putting the equations in the y equals first, you'd have to make sure that that entire second function gets in parentheses or distribute that negative sign in. You'd have to choose one of those two options in order to get the correct answer. The first set of parentheses that are enclosing the x plus 1, they're algebraically not really doing anything. It's helpful in terms of visualizing to make sure it's set up correctly, but whether or not those parentheses are there, it's not going to affect the outcome of the final answer. You'll still get the same final answer.